So he goes home, and I think that he was told to clean, like, the yard and the carport or the garage or something like that. And so he does. He goes home, does that, and his mother says that she remembers seeing him, but then at some point he, like, disappeared. Like, he came in and out, but she was on the phone with, like, her boss or something, so she really didn't pay much attention to him. You know, this was the 90s. People let their kids do whatever they wanted all the time, right? I mean, I was born in the early 2000s, and if I wanted to, like, my grandma lives on this street, and if I was here with my mom, I could say, hey, can I go play with Davey? And she'd be like, yeah, sure, go out and play. Just make sure you're home when the lights, like the street lights come on. And I was born in 99 and I grew up in the early 2000s. So that was even still a thing when I was a kid. So I assume it was common in the 90s as well. Especially in this small little Bible Belt town. They probably didn't think anything bad was going to happen to their children. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody here was churchgoers and believed in God and prayed and were very, very religious people. So they probably saw no problem with it. So Deborah O'Tinger says that she sees the boys at 6 p.m. She says that she was headed to dinner for her mom's, and that's how she remembers the time. But she sees the 3 boys at 6 p.m., and then Dana Moore also sees them, so that's Michael Moore's mother. She also sees them at 6 o'clock, and she says that they were heading north on 14th Street. And then somebody, I didn't catch this person's name. One of the sources that I used was a woman named Stephanie Harlow, her YouTube videos on the case, because I love her videos, and this is not a derogatory term in any way, but I mentioned to Steven that her videos are like a dump of information. Like, she has everything you could ever want to know about the case. And she was able to do a lot of research that I wasn't able to do. Like, she had access to Damien's book, which we'll talk about a little bit later, because Damien was sentenced to death at the end of this case. So it's a big deal that he's even alive right now. You know what I'm saying? So he wrote a book called Life After Death, and she was able to read that. But then some of the research that we did lined up as well. Like, we both watched all 3 of the Paradise Lost movies. Even though for me it's been a couple of weeks since I watched them, but we both watched them. So I mainly used her to get information pieces that I couldn't. And she didn't, I don't remember her giving this person's name, but she says between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, the boys are seen going into Robin Hood Hills. Now, Robin Hood Hills is this place. So, do you know... So, you know how I'm going to be giving some information about where we live. I'm not going to tell you the city that we live in, but do you know when you're coming down Lexington Spring Mill and there's that turn, like, right after, like, right before you get into Lexington, and there's woods, and then on one side of the woods there's the street that you turn on, and then on the other side of the woods there's another busy street and some businesses? It was kind of like that, but bigger, like way bigger, like huge. I think it was like 4 acres worth of woods. And on one side was obviously the neighborhood that the boys lived in. And on the other side was, I think it was Interstate 41 and something called the Blue Beacon Truck Stop, which was like a place where truckers could go in. Like, if you're driving your truck and you're tired, you can go in, take a nap, or you can buy food, or you can wash your truck or take a shower. Like, I don't really know much about truck stops or truck washes. Like, I'm a 20-year-old girl. Like, I don't know any of that stuff, you know? But that's that's what this area was between. And so a lot of the parents didn't like their kids playing in that area because obviously
truckers are creepy.
There's like a trucker stop right here, and not only is there a trucker stop.
Sorry if we offend any of you truckers listening to this while you are driving in a truck.
We love our trucker listeners. We love our trucker listeners.
As long as you're not creepy murdering people.
How many truckers?
Don't kill 8-year-olds, truckers. Just a friendly reminder.
Why do we have to remind the truckers only? Why can't we remind everybody that it's not?
Because currently, right now, truckers are who matter.
Trucker lives matter. Truckers' lives matter. But, so obviously, and not only that, but right off of, let me see if I wrote it down. I really think it's like Interstate 40. Robin Hood Hills. Yeah, okay, so it's off of Interstate 40, which, I don't know if you've ever heard of Interstate 40. I hadn't. I had to look it up, and see where it was and, where all the places it went to. But apparently it's, a super busy highway. It's one of the most busy interstates in the United States. I don't know about you, but I would not want my child playing right next to a super busy highway because...
Not a fan with my 8-year-olds.
No, no. So, obviously it was just... Actually, I do have this chick's name. Her name was Jamie Clark Ballard. I forgot I wrote it on the next page because I ran out of space. But she's the person that says that she saw the boys go into Robin Hills between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. And she says that she saw 2 black teenagers and a white teenagers come out of the woods later. Particularly the Robin Hood Hills area. So, between 6 and 6:30, the boys are seen a few houses down from Stevie's house. So, like I said, Michael and Chris live on one side of town, and Stevie lives on the other. So, they're down by Stevie's house, which I think is closer to Robin Hood Hills, and they're a few houses down from there. And this is super important, because Terry Hobbs, who, I don't know if you remember me saying this at the beginning, is Stevie Branch's stepfather, yeah?
Yes.
He is the last person to be seen with the boys while the boys were alive.
Oh.
He was seen with the boys, and he was telling them to come back. I imagine him walking down the street and seeing the boys riding their bikes, and he was like, hey, come back here. Probably trying to get Stevie, because obviously, if you tell your son, you need to come back by 4:30 because I need to go to work, and you can't find him. You drive around, almost so late to work trying to find your kid. I'd be pissed off, I'm going to go, hey, what are you doing? Your mom told you to be back by 4:30, why are you still out playing? But this same person says that they're seen at 7 o'clock and Terry Hobbs is near them walking towards Robin Hood Hills. Don't know how true that is. That could all be speculation. These are all hearsay, witness testimonies, which we know that witness testimonies can be, But, so, the boys crossed at some point, and this is from Stephanie's video, along with the Paradise Lost videos. There was a pipe, a pipe bridge, over this creek. And on, one side, if you don't cross this pipe bridge, you stay on the side of Robin Hood Hills that's close to the neighborhood. So the relatively safer area if you're going by the parents, right? These boys crossed the pipe bridge to the other side, which was closer to the Blue Beacon truck stop. And nobody really knows why they did this. Obviously, the boys are now deceased and were found deceased. So we don't know if maybe somebody led them out this way, or if maybe they were, going to go swimming, or if they maybe wanted to go climb some trees out that way. We don't really know, but we do know that they crossed this pipe bridge. Because their bikes, when their bikes were found on the other side of this pipe bridge.
Oh.
So, we know that they crossed that bridge. So John Mark, Chris's father, reports Chris missing. And he says that he last saw Chris at 5:40. Because he comes home and him and his wife want to go to dinner. But they want to take their kids and they want to go to dinner as a family. And they're like, we need to go find Chris. So they start driving around, kind of doing the same thing that Pam and Terry were doing before they had to take Pam to work. They're driving around the neighborhood looking for him, looking for Stevie and Michael's bikes. Because like we mentioned before, Chris is on a skateboard, so they're not going to see a skateboard. But they know who he's hanging out with, so they figure if they find Michael and Stevie, they'll find Chris, right? Which is a reasonable assumption. But he hasn't seen his son in hours, so he reports Chris missing at 8:10 that night. And the officer that takes the report, her name is Regina Meeks. Okay? And Regina Meeks, first of all, when you watch her speak during the court case, like, I wanted to punch her in the face. Because she, like, first of all, this is the 90s. There's not a lot of females on the police force. But when she's speaking in court, like, she looks lazy. And then when we find out more later, this information in particular I did get from Stephanie. I couldn't corroborate it anywhere. But she gets a report of a bloody man who's either bleeding or covered in blood, disoriented black man, either bleeding or covered in blood at a Bojangles restaurant, right? Right after Chris is reported missing. And she doesn't make the connection. She goes to this Bojangles restaurant. And, like, if you were a cop and you got a report saying, hey, there's this bloody, weird guy in our restaurant, could you maybe come check it out? What are you going to do when you get to the restaurant?
I mean, there's a bloody guy coming out of a restaurant?
He, like, literally, like I said, this information is from Stephanie, but she says that the report is that there was a Bojangles restaurant down the road from Chris Byers' home. She gets a call about 15 minutes after she's been looking for the boys, because she doesn't actually report them missing. She's like, I'll go look for them. I'll keep my eye out, is what she says. So, let me see if I can find my notes on this and be a little bit more accurate. But there's a Bojangles, and there's another call. Like, this chick is apparently the only person taking calls all night long. Like, apparently she's the only nighttime officer in West Memphis. Because she gets a call to go to this Bojangles restaurant, and they're like, hey, there's this bloody guy. He seems disoriented. I don't know if he's bleeding or if he's covered in somebody's blood. But he's bleeding. He's dripping blood all over our restaurant, smearing blood all over the walls. He's in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom. Can you come check it out? What are you going to do as a cop? Basic. First thing, you pull into the parking lot. What are you doing?
I mean, I'm probably arresting the bloody guy coming out of the restaurant.
No. I need you to go more basic. I need you to go more basic than that.
Really fought with some rare steak, it sounds like.
No, I need you to be more basic than that. Like, you literally pull into the parking lot. I'll put it to you like this. Are you going to pull into a parking space and go inside and see what the fuck these people are talking about? Are you going to go through a drive-thru and take the report there?
Hello, welcome to Mr. Bojangles. What can I get you today?
Well, I really need a report on a bloody guy inside your restaurant right now.
Okay, that's one report on a bloody guy. Would you like some Bojangles fries with that?
Yeah, I'll take some fries with that. Let's talk to that bloody guy.
She literally goes through the drive-thru. Like, what kind of person? What kind of person? I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit upset. What kind of person goes through a fucking drive-thru to take a police report on a bloody guy? You know you have, like, two kids. At this point, she knows that there's two boys missing. This is within walking distance of where the boys were last seen, right? And you're telling me that you're gonna fucking go through that? You're not even gonna go in there and look. You're not even gonna look at the type of spread of this blood. You're not gonna look at any of this shit. Like, nothing. You're just gonna go through the drive-thru. Yeah, I got a call about, a bloody guy in here. Can y'all, like, give me that? Like, I'm sorry.
Would you like to supersize that? We could add about 2 convictions to this guy. Yes. About 25 cents. Supersize.
25 cents. Supersize me.
Copyright McDonald's.
I wouldn't even know what that was. I'll be completely honest. I wouldn't even know what a supersize was if I never watched the movie Super Size Me. I don't know if you saw that, but it was like a movie where this guy...
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah. It's like a movie where this guy goes around and eats nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight. And every time they ask him if he wants to supersize it, he has to say yes.
I'm just waiting for Bloody Guy on the menu at Bojangles.
Bloody Guy!
Well, you'd like the Bloody Guy special?
Stop.
Bloody Guy special.
So yeah, she's...
Would you like some toe fingers with that?
Ew, fuck. I'm sorry he's so vile, you guys. I really am. So this black, bloody, like, and later on, like when I was watching Stephanie Harlow's videos, she talks about when the boys were found, when their bodies are recovered. And she says, and I don't think she has any proof of this, but what she says is that the Bojangles guy looked the same as the police officers after they had dug through the water to recover the 3 boys' bodies. So then what would you do? If you go through the drive-thru and you get this report that your fucking lazy ass was too lazy to go inside. She could have taken swabs right then, but no! Mm-mm. Why would she be a good cop and do good police work? No. Unheard of. So, she goes through the drive-thru. She gets this fucking report, right? This lazy-ass report that she gets. And the guy's like, yeah, here's all the information on this man. He actually just left on foot a couple of minutes ago, like right before you got here, and he went that way. You're in a police cruiser. You could probably catch him if you wanted to go looking for him. What would you do?
I mean, I'd wait for my report, obviously.
After you've gotten the report.
Oh.
And you hear that this man just left on foot, not even a couple minutes ago.
I'm finished my fries.
Finished my fries. She takes a call on a domestic. On somebody like, I don't know, like a couple of kids that are like being troublemakers, like somebody vandalizing something, like TPing somebody's house or throwing eggs. I don't know. Like, Stephanie said throwing eggs, but I think that was like a sarcastic point that she made, like, throwing eggs. No, like, it was a couple of kids that were causing trouble, raising hell, you know?
I don't really want to deal with this bloody guy. That sounds like a mess. All right. I'm going to deal with this less messy situation of eggs.
Eggs or toilet paper, whatever the fuck it was.
Rotten eggs.
Like,
sounds
literally.
So
I'm
much
sorry.
better.
I'm sorry, but like, this sounds important, not the bloody man that could potentially, like, and let's just think for a second that maybe this Bojangles guy...
She is setting back female officers years.
Literally. So, like, and let's just think for a minute that maybe this Bojangles guy had nothing to do with the murders, and it's just a coincidence that he came in there bloody.
It just happens to be a coincidence.
Do we think
every
it's possible?
Tuesday, he comes in here a little bloody.
Like, we never hear anything else about this Bojangles guy. What if this Bojangles guy was, like, dying? Like, what if he had been stabbed and was bleeding out and, like, had just left and was dying? Like, you're telling me that you didn't even go check on this guy to see if he was okay?
Sir, would you like medical assistance with that? You can add that to your supersized meal. Medical assistance? Do you got some gas?
Please help me. Like, I'm all for empowering women and, you know, being a powerful
Unless they're
woman.
dumb.
But this bitch is stupid. Like, what do you mean? Why? Like, I'm gonna go handle this domestic real quick, and I'm not gonna worry about that man that could potentially be dying over there by the fucking dumpster. Like, no. Like, what? Like I said, this case gets me heated. Regina Meeks in particular gets me fucking heated. Like, ultimate facepalm right there. Sorry. Okay. So, at some point, Regina Meeks gets a call from Dana Moore, who is Michael Moore's mother. Excuse you.
Did mom call her and was like, hey, so can't find my son. Have you seen any bloody guys today? Perhaps?
I didn't mention this before, but when Chris Byers, so like I said, Chris Byers and the Moores live, like the Byers and the Moores live really close together. Like they're almost across the street from one another. So when John Mark Byers reports Chris missing, Dana Moore sees that and she's like, I'm going to go across the street and talk to this cop because my son's missing too and he's probably with Chris. And Regina's like, I'll just keep an eye out for both of them because I figure they're together. Which, to be completely fair, I'll give it to her, is a reasonable assumption. But she never actually took Dana Moore's statement at that time. Dana Moore had to wait until about 9:30 for her statement to be taken. So, this chick, it just...
Ma'am, you're gonna have to wait 1 second. I'm trying to finish my fries from Bojangles and my Bloody Guy special. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Can you wait? Please, pardon me. Please wait.
Please wait. She's Regina Meeks. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry if your name is Karen, but Regina Meeks sounds like a fucking Karen. Like, I don't even like. Okay, I'm done. I think I'm done.
I am sorry to all the Karens listening out there.
I think I'm done. I think that part is over. I'll get heated again about Regina Meeks when we talk about the case, and I play the clip of Regina Meeks literally, like, sitting there in court talking about what she did when she really didn't do anything.
Spoilers.
So, just to be clear, because I've been talking a lot about Dana Moore, Todd Moore, Michael's father, was actually out of town. He was a trucker, and he was miles away from West Memphis when his son went missing. He would not get back until 5 a.m. the next morning when it was just starting to get light out, and the first thing that he did was change his clothes, put on some boots, and go over to get he got John Mark Byers and went over to Stevie Branch's house as soon as he got back and was like, let's go look for our kids, right? First thing I would do, but whatever. But anyways, we've been recording for a while, and I think we'll probably stop this part here. What do you think?
Yeah, we're probably going to make this into a 4-part now instead of a 2-part because we realized that we recorded a lot on just the first part. And
like, you guys are used to hour and 15-minute episodes. This
hour and a half was our last one.
2 hours long without our intro and outro. So, long podcast, so we're going to chop it in half and let you guys get real spoiled this week with 4 podcasts. Ooh. But, let's do our plugs real quick. You guys can always follow us on Unsolved_comedies on Instagram. And of course, the Dragon Blazer Production official Instagram. And of course,
Dragon Blazer Productions on the Facebook page. I got a fan page. And then I also have a YouTube page, which has a bunch of my podcasts that I'm working on putting all on there. And also video game videos just because I like to do them.
Oh yeah, you guys should totally check out the YouTube channel because if you guys are into pro wrestling, he's actually got 2 podcasts for that one, and he's got a gaming podcast as well. So if you're into any of those things, you can check out those podcasts and then also watch ours while you're there.
Yes, it's the YouTube page is called Dragon Blazer Productions as well, and then my Twitter is @DragonBlazerPro. Yes, that's what I said.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. We appreciate it. And as always,
be careful when you go to Bojangles and bloody people are there.
Let's not even get started on that bitch again. We'll see you guys in the next one.